feel His presence and I don't. Sometimes you feel that presence and you don't know if you want to move forward of what's going to happen because of the vulnerability of that. Thank you for coming and looking for me today, Zach. It would be so cool to be able to minister on this content and this material without having to live it. Wow. Without having to be the main character of the one God is working on. It's easy for Him to work on other people and you observe, but when He works on you and He works on you in front of people, that's like, oh my goodness, use Jada, not me. Can I volunteer some people? Shakima, you did a wonderful job sharing the love of God. That song's in my mind here for a moment because it says, just want to be like you. And that concerns me because we've been in church so long, but we're not like Him. We've been in church for years and decades, but we don't look any more like the author of the church. We sing worship songs, but we're not a living epistle of worship. I don't beat myself up, but I just realize more and more how less like Him I am. And I want to be like Him, but there's so much of me that's in the way. It's not the devil. It's not society. It's not culture. It's not sin. It's me. I'm in the way. And religion will so make you think that it is the pathway when it is not. We go get into living beyond predictability. We started with the numb heart. And then last week we went into living beyond predictability. So let me put when you watch the TV and there's medications on there or different things, they always put a little disclaimer at the bottom. Results may vary. So results vary. But my disclaimer at the bottom is this message is not at you, it's about me. So don't put yourself in the message. You're welcome to point your finger and say, that's you. You're talking about you. Because that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about me. See, I can't do anything about your journey. I cannot tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, where you should go, I can't do any of that. What I do know is as you spend time with Holy Spirit and as your heart and your values, He will show you exactly the direction. And I'm just going to share my journey where I am, what the Lord is showing me, and then you can take and use what you want to use and do what you want to do, and it's your journey. Religion will give you a numb heart. I mean, it will numb you up. It will do a lot of damage to you. And we started out last week talking about how your heart gets calcified, how your heart gets scaled, how your heart, with our electric pressure washer in the back that's mounted on the wall, annually I have someone to come in and they kind of overhaul it, change the oil, make everything work good. But when they take that gears out, or the system where the water runs through, it is city water. It is supposedly purified water, but on the inside it has calcium and buildup and scale. It's like white, and it attaches to all of the metal parts, and it will literally pit it and eat it. I mean, it will just the minerals in it gets on that. I mean, you see that in your shower. You see, depending on if you're on well water, you see the rainbow effect of iron and hard water. And it's a scale that gets on there, and when you rub it, you can literally feel the scale. That's what plaque is. Plaque is not an instant buildup. It is over time what you eat. It's over time. It's little nano cells, nanoparticles that attach to your walls of your arteries and veins, and over time it blocks and clogs. Over time it reduces the flow. So over time there is we call that heart disease. Over time. I'm going to do a little series called Heart Disease and Heart Transplant, because there is something that happens that when you get a new organ transplant, you have to take an anti-rejection medication, because the enzymes and the proteins in that new organ, the white blood cell count will attack that, and over time it will even kill the new heart or the new organ. It's being rejected, and without our mind being transformed, you will naturally attack the new creation and destroy it. You will destroy it, and you will have organ failure. Maybe we're having agape failure because our flesh and counterfeit love is attacking it. We're rejecting the transformation because we want to maintain ourselves. If you're like me, and I hope you're not, Wayne said how much he loved me, and I said, man, you really had to operate in love for a long period of time to love me. It's covered a multitude of faults. And here's the good thing about agape. It doesn't matter if anybody loves you. Agape loves them. It's not reciprocal. You love me, I love you. Agape is I love you. I don't need you to love me. Isn't that a reversal? I love you, so therefore, if you love me, you get something. No, not with agape. You don't have to love me, I love you. What a reversal. So I am a formula person, formulamatic. I like formulas because you get the same result. If you have the right ingredient and you do it, you can cook it right. You can do it right. So when you understand formulas, you get the same thing all the time. The issue with that is that doesn't work in the kingdom. Because you can't have a formula, and then we try to make formulas in our life. We like systems, because when you have formulas and systems, it eliminates risk. It eliminates the risk that can occur, and it is a promise of predictability. How many of you like to know what the outcome's going to be? It's kind of like investment. If I invest, I know the outcome. You're telling me what my percentage is, how long it needs to stay. You're giving me the end result. So yes, I'm able to say this is a risk I want to take. Well, loving people and walking with God, you do not have the predictable outcome that you want. They may kiss you and it's a betrayal. If you know someone's going to kiss you and betray you, you probably go avoid them. And you definitely wouldn't have picked them. But Jesus knew to get to where I have to go, I'm going to need the betrayal. I'm going to need someone to kiss me and let me know how it feels to be wounded in the house of my friends. You're going to have your culture to kiss you and betray you, to know what it's like. So what is the engine behind predictability? If I was to tell you, now these are not loaded questions, how do I say this, Dr. Z? Because sometimes I've been known for loaded questions, and I don't want to be known for loaded questions. I want to be known for thinking differently. So when I ask you a question, a lot of times we say things based on what we've been told or what it appears, and we've not thought of it in 10 different angles, 10 different perspectives. So if I was to ask you what is the faith chapter, what would we say? Hebrews 11. If I was to ask you what the love chapter would be, what would we say? Well, why wouldn't Hebrews 11 be the love chapter and not the faith chapter? Because Romans says faith cannot be real unless it's expressed in love. So when you read Hebrews 11, you will not see the word love in Hebrews 11. But yet it is a love chapter because faith is all about, it's about love. That is a love chapter being expressed. 1 Corinthians 13 is not a love chapter. It is a defining chapter to let you know what love is and is not. It's not a love chapter. Hebrews 11 would be the expression of love. In 1 Corinthians 13 would be letting you know the do's and don'ts of love. It's not a love chapter. It don't tell you really anything about love, but when you're operating in love, it will produce Hebrews 11. Maybe the reason we're not producing Hebrews 11 is because there's no agape to produce it. See, agape is fuel. It is the fuel for faith. Faith is not in and of itself an independent process. So predictability is obsessed with control. Predictability is obsessed with control. We're going to look at control today because we stopped last week right at going into God is love. We are going to pick that up, but we're going to look at control because I think we only have a one-sided understanding of control. We look at control as manipulation of people. So if you see control as manipulation of people, you can miss the other side of control, and therefore you will call someone else a controller and not yourself. I am a controller. Say that. Look at the person beside you and say, I am a controller. Richard just told me he was a controller, so everybody knows he's a controller. Now, some of you will automatically say, I'm saying this, but I'm not really a controller. See, follow me because I'm going to lay this groundwork. Control is what hardens your heart. Control will harden what God has created to be alive. Control turns intimacy into mechanics. Let me say it again. Control will turn intimacy into mechanics and relationships into performance. We are not performers just because we're performers, and we're not controllers just because we're controllers. There is a source behind this, and we're going to look at another side of control that I saw in myself. See, the kingdom is never about earning approval with God. It's about abiding in Him. And see, religion wants you to earn Abba's approval when Abba wants you to abide in a relationship with Him. So I'm in the process for you, so it'll be coming soon for you. I have 3 detox. I'm real big on the detox. We rarely do detox unless it is a drug, but I have a detox, a 7-day detox I'm doing, the detox on performance, the detox on religion, and the detox on work-based. To detox something is I got to get it out of my system. I got to break the need for it, the crutch I need for that. And this helps us identify it and understand what that is. So let's dive in just for a few minutes and talk about what control is. I want to give you 3 things. I don't know if you ever even heard this. How much of the stuff I teach have you heard before? This is going to be good. How much of control do you recognize? Let me give you 3 identifiers, not that you can identify them in someone else. You may can a little bit, but I want to give you 3 identifiers that we have in our lives that are controlling identifiers that you need to be aware of. 1, smiling. 2, planning. 3, editing. Planning. Yes, planning. These are 3 identifiers. Now, this is not the 5 pillars of control. This is 3 identifiers that you can just real quick look at what you're doing, where you are, and how you're doing it, and you can identify if you are in control mode. Smiling is emotional control. It's emotional. Smiling becomes a mask that hides your fear. Smiling is a mask that is hiding your anxiety and your uncomfortability. You're uncomfortable, so what do? You smile, and someone says, "How are you doing?" "I'm fine." Hello? Look at somebody and smile and say, I'm fine. When you know you're not fine, you have a terror barrier going on inside, but you're smiling because that is an emotional control to let you think I'm good when I'm really, I got butterflies, I'm nervous. And when you start understanding, a lot of people have tics when they're uncomfortable in conversations, when they're uncomfortable around people. They do dumb things. They say the wrong thing at the wrong time. They laugh at when everybody is solemn. They You're like, why are you laughing? It's not even funny. It's because you're out of control. You're facing you and what's inside of you, and you inside of you is so strong, it's coming out in weird ways. Hello? Y'all with me? See, you're saying I'm fine because you're losing control, but your soul is grabbing the wheel. Planning. Planning is situational control. And we call it being prepared. Oh, Lord, you know I'm coming down your mile-long driveway right now. See, we call our planning, we call it being prepared. When really we're just scared. It's not, now, follow me. It's not that planning is wrong. It's when planning becomes our protection. Hello, with me? Y'all with me here? It's when the planning becomes our protection and we cross that line. See, when planning is more about predictability than trusting Abba, that's when it's wrong. And we will plan so it's predictable without trusting Yahweh when He told them, don't take money, don't take a bag, don't take anything. You go out and I'll tell you what to say and what to do. That is trusting. Predictability will permit you not to trust God. Now, if I was to ask you for a biblical reference, what is the greatest passage of Scripture that will contrast control and surrender? What would you say? Okay. I think he just went to the bathroom. That's okay. It's okay. That's perfect timing. Let me get my Bible out, and I'm sure you have one. I want to show you the most clearest, perfect contrast of Scripture in the Bible, and it's going to come from Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Now listen. Are you there? So let's look at this. Trust in the Lord. There it is. There we go. Trust in the Lord completely. Underline. And do not rely on your own control. See, your opinion is control. You will allow your opinion to override what He says. You will allow your experience to override what He says. Your experience says, no, but I've experienced it. Your experience is a lie compared. Anything you know, experienced, been taught, feel, emotionally, anything is a lie when you compare it to God. If God says it, it's true, and you a liar, period. Everything about your life is a lie when you compare it to the truth. For He is a God who cannot lie. You lie. If you have never lied, then you can keep your way. Trust in the Lord completely and do not rely on your own control. With all your heart, rely on Him. That's trust. To guide you, and He will lead you in every decision you make. See, control leans on opinions, and trust leans on presence. Trust leans on His presence. Jeremiah 17:5-8. I'm going to show you this contrast here for a moment. Because I like predictability. I like. Cursed is the one who trusts in man. Cursed. Trust in man. That's man's control. Man, if you trust in man, you're trusting, that means yourself too. If I trust in myself over God, then I trust my control over God's. Cursed is the man who trusts in man, who draws strength from flesh. We draw comfort from our predictability. We draw comfort from our planning. We draw comfort from our smiling. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him. See, the difference is control and rest. You can never find rest as long as you're in control. Because rest is not in control. Rest is in presence. Y'all with me? It's the difference between curse and blessing. Rest is not in curse. Rest is in blessing. So these are two scriptures that show us where we trust in human flesh and human opinion and human experience and human feeling over trusting in God. So back to the identifiers, smiling, which is emotional control, and planning, which is situational control, and the third one is editing. This is relational control. Anybody ever heard this before? Well, this is discovering Timothy Shannon Hutto. See, editing relational control, this is so good. It's editing what you say, how you feel, and how you show up. You curate yourself so you never look weak. You never look needy, and you never look messy. It's self-preservation disguised as composure. Here's the big thing. When you edit, you're editing your vulnerability out of your relationships. That's so good. When I edit myself, I don't want to be messy. I'm so precise. It's kind of like PR people. They say exactly what they need to say to get you to back off. This is an edited. It tells you just enough, but not everything. It's close enough, but it's not the truth. I'm editing my relationship so I don't get too vulnerable with you, because you will see my mess. You will see my mistakes. You will see I don't have it all together. You will see my anxiety. You will see I don't have all the answers. You will see I'm not a walking encyclopedia. You will see everything about me. So I have to edit my relationship so you always get the best of me. And that way, because you need to go tell everybody how good I am. Oh, well, I'm just all up in the mess this morning. See, control feels safe, but it's an illusion. It feels comfortable, but it's an illusion. It is not real. See, control is the drug behind predictability. It's a drug. Control is a drug, and it must be, if I'm going to have predictability, I have to be in control. It looks spiritual. We call it wisdom. We call control wisdom. How about this one? Oh, this is my favorite. Y'all look at me and say, that's him. We call control being responsible. Mm. I should have told you to wear your rain boots today. And your waders. See, we call control all kinds of things, but we call it wisdom, we call it being responsible, but heaven calls it unbelief, dressed up in professionalism. Our control is unbelief, because when you control something, it means your way is right and the other way is wrong. And we wonder why our finances are where they are. We wonder why our relationships are where they are. We wonder why we married the wrong person. We wonder why all these things, when it was our predictability. We did this to our children because we wanted an outcome. See, are you ready for this? Control, this is me again. Control isn't about the manipulation of people. That's only one aspect of it. Control is about the manipulation of outcomes I want. It is about the manipulation of timing. It's about the manipulation of how I want God's story to be. We can manipulate God. Why? When do I manipulate Him? Every time you pray? Prayer is the greatest form of manipulation I know in the church. See, we made prayer into getting something and getting a source out of God, when prayer is about me wanting to be with Him so I can look like Him. And when I look like Him and be like Him, He gives us everything we want. I don't have to ask for it. It's already given to me. Okay? So control is fear wearing confidence. Control makes us look like we're confident when really we're fearful. We're little children. We're anxiety. We put on our big boy pants. You heard that? And we walk in and we are loud, and we are overriding the anxiety and the fear in us by trying to portray confidence when really we're not confident. That's what control does. Control thrives in strong people. Y'all listen to me. Control thrives in strong people who know they're vulnerable. You know your vulnerability. Let me give you an example. I'm not a big water person. I love the water, but I am not a first-class swimmer. If you are in trouble, don't hang on to me. If I see you in trouble, I'm going to swim away from you. As they say, I'm going to doggy paddle right on out of your way. Now, Casey doesn't have that vulnerability in water. Now listen to me. I'm speaking to me. If it applies to you, good. If not, good. I love the water, but I had several incidences of almost drowning when I was young. I was not taught to swim, and I said this to all parents. Your number one life skill, number one, if you have a child, the first thing you should do as soon as you can, you should make them, discipline them. Whatever it takes, they learn to swim, because it is a life skill that you need. And it's so much fun involved in it, but if you are afraid of water, let me tell you, listen about vulnerability. People that are afraid never do anything. Come on, get in the water. Nah, I'm responsible. No, I'm going to stay dry. I don't want to get wet today. We lie Instead of saying, I'm not a good swimmer. No, I'm good today. You want to ski? Everybody's skiing. No, I don't want to ski. We honestly, because of our control, because of my control, I say no to so many things in life because it makes me vulnerable. And if I don't do it right, you will laugh at me. So I get on the skis, and you back there, I don't want you laughing at me. So what do? Control says, no, I'm good. I'll sit up here with the captain in the boat and just watch. How much of your life have you been in control of because you don't want anybody to laugh at you, make fun of you, banter with you, tell anything about you? I saw the funniest thing today. You should have seen Zach. That dude couldn't even, he's a doctor. We cannot be vulnerable. You're a director of rehab. You can't be vulnerable. You have to always be composed. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go into the ditch of being always ridiculous. See, control thrives in strong people because they have to maintain control so they don't see their vulnerability. And people say, oh, that's not me. I don't care what people think. Just in that one point. How about all the other points? Don't get ahead of yourself and saying, well, I'm not afraid of water. I'm a good swimmer. Okay, what about the 100 other things? None's arrived. We don't need to get over-impressed because we're good in one area and bad in another. I'm just telling you me. My vulnerabilities, I like control in these areas. See, vulnerability will manipulate outcomes and timing. It whispers, listen to this, I obey once I understand. Once I understand how it works, I'll do it. That's control. How about this one? It demands proof before I will participate. That's control. Or, see, control for people of faith, control is a safety net. See, we won't surrender unless we have a backup plan. Now, I'm going to tell you, I think I told a couple of people, I think it was Casey and them. I have one word. The Lord spoke to me. I was working this week. One word. Say one word. On one word, I've written 74 pages as of today. On one word. Taking this word apart of what it means. What does this mean? What does this look like for me? How does it look in the world so that I understand one of the most important words in the Bible, and I don't, just like control. We think it's they're trying to control me. They're trying to manipulate me. When we manipulate every day of our lives, everything, every situation, timing. Hey, can you come over at 3? Well, let me see what time. Well, I need to go home and take a shower. I need to do this. It's control. I can't come over there and I'm not looking my best. So planning, editing, and smiling is identifiers I am controlling. I'm a control freak. See, control refuses to live unguarded. I don't know if I'm making any sense to everybody. It refuses to live unguarded. It refuses to trust without the data. It refuses to rest without answers. I must know. I got to know. How deep's the water? Is it cold? Is it swift? Is it a current? is that I got to control. Because if it's over my head, I can't get in. If it's cold, I can't get in. If it's too hot, I can't get in. We're constantly trying to come up with answers to determine what level of control I have here. Because if I get in the water, like when Roman got in the water and he tried to dip in the mountain, he no, I can't do that. That's out of my presentation. I need you to know that I am a man and I can do a polar plunge and not even have a frown. Just no. We like people to test it and then we determine whether we want to be vulnerable. Hello, am I same in worship? I don't want to be too vulnerable in worship. So our worship is controlled. It's not how good he is and how awesome it is and how amazing he is and how stunning it is. It's how will I look? Because you may have a picture of me. Hello? Control. But when we live a controlled life, something tragic begins to happen to us. It's tragic. We lose our responsiveness and our spontaneity to follow God. We start choosing predictability over presence. We choose control over being with Him, and we start operating under survival instead of sonship. It's tragic. I have lived a tragic life compared to what God has designed for me. I have been circling and cycling the desert for 40 years, and every time I walk by, all I got to do is swim across or walk across the Jordan, and I'm in the promised land. But no, I don't want to get in that water because it may take me downstream. It may. So I prefer predictability over presence. Hello. So let's move into the next one. Control hides. We're still in control. We're going to make it that God is love. But see, control keeps us from experiencing God is love. See, control loves to hide. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures, but they make something called snake boots. And they make snake boots because snakes are so procryptic, they can camouflage so well because they've learned how to lay. I don't know if they pick and choose and select, but they learn how to lay in a bed of pine needles and leaves of all color and stretch themselves out, and the filtered sunlight is coming down and the leaves are swaying and they're just in the sunlight and you can't see them. So they make snake boots because they're so good at their camouflage, you can't see them and you can step on one. See, control is so deceptive and it is so camouflaged, you will not see it. You see it as wisdom. You see it as being responsible. You see it as all kinds of things, but not the snake it is. And that's how control operates. It's quiet, composed, and camouflaged in the rhythm of your life. It's in step with you. This is me. This is my Timothy. This is Timothy's control. Listen, it hides in your excellence and calls itself stewardship. It hides in calendars and calls itself discipline. It hides under the label of being responsible. Oh, that sounds so holy. I'm responsible. Be responsible. And we tell people to be responsible like people. But sometimes responsible is the code word for I don't trust. See, it's a quiet version. It's a subtle version. I look at pictures sometimes. They'll say, can you see the snake? And I enlarge the picture. And I'm looking, and I can't see the snake. I want to ask you, can you see the snake called control in your life? It's behind the smile. It's behind the editing. It's behind the planning. It's behind the stewardship. It's behind you having your best foot forward. It looks like maturity. Oh, how easy is that to hide behind? They're just mature. No, they're vulnerable. And they know their vulnerabilities. I know my vulnerabilities, and I keep everything controlled. It's called control is the management of fear. This is good, isn't it? It may not help you, but it's helping me. And here's the trap. I'm being responsible means I can stay passive, I can stay composed, I can stay in control. I don't have to risk faith. I don't have to step into the unknown. I don't have to get my feet wet. I can look stable while stuck. Look at the person and say, you stable, but you stuck. Hey, and you stuck, and people will walk by you and say, how are you? Fine. I'm not telling you I'm stuck because stupid people get stuck. What are you doing? Why are you driving your Honda Civic down on Wrightsville Beach? Why are you driving your four-wheel drive and you didn't let the air out your tires so they widen up so you can go in the sand? You're stupid. No, we don't want people to know we're stupid in our 4x4 truck. So we have a 4x4 truck and we stay up on land. I could go down there, but I don't want salt on my vehicle. It's vulnerability. Hello? See, control is safety dressed as stewardship, restraint dressed as righteousness. It's the same serpent, just a different language. See, control doesn't hiss, it blends. It doesn't feel like rebellion, it feels like wisdom. It basks in the same sunlight that God put you in. Hello. We know what control is. We're almost to God is love. We're almost to God is love. We may close right at God is love again. But you go know and I'm going to know what control is. So and these are my notes about me. What's actually happening to me? What's going on with me? Because I find myself in this strange place. So I'm going to share with you here this morning as I was writing things out and journaling. I'm going to share some things with you about me because I find that when I expose me, it helps me move on a lot quicker. So I don't necessarily want to read this, but there's just parts I need to read. So I find myself around people, and I find myself a lot of times, and I really get unnerved sometimes by people. And because I get unnerved, I don't dislike them, I get unnerved. But helping me understand, Dr. Z, what's going on in my life, because if you don't really spend time and understand what's going on, you run over it and you just say, oh, just pray about it or whatever. So I hope this will help you. So when I meet someone or I encounter even you and our wiring clashes, see, your makeup, everyone in this room is wired differently. You're wired differently. And when you're wired differently, we call it chemistry a lot of times. There's people that I have no chemistry with at all. And when I don't have chemistry with people, I prefer not to be anywhere around you at all. Well, that's cold love. That can't be right. Can't be right. You'll find that in political parties. Can't be around them. Find that in different faith. Can't be around them. Find that in personalities. You can't be around them. How do you navigate this? Because you can't deny what's inside of you is there. It's there. It's there. It's there. So if it's there, how do I navigate what's here and operate in agape? So your inner systems, see, when I encounter people, I start scanning. Tone, pace, personality. I start scanning. What's the congruence here? What's the grounding here? What's the connection here? Am I the only one that does this? Listen, my discernment is over-functioning. I'm going somewhere with this, Christy. Just hang in there. See, I'm trying to manage risk. I'm managing risk. Are you a risk for me? Can I trust this atmosphere? Can I relax here? Lots going on. But listen, the moment I evaluate people instead of embracing them, agape stops. Agape does not evaluate. Agape embraces. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I got to recognize I'm starting to evaluate here. I got to make a decision here. Am I going to continue my evaluation or am I going to embrace? It doesn't mean I don't evaluate and look at things. It just means what is going on here. See, love starts being relational and it becomes transactional because now I'm evaluating the risk that's here. Come on. I'm deep in this right here. No, we won't get to God is love, but we'll stop right at it. Oh, because I got something to show you. This is what the Lord spoke to me about this morning. You're listening, right? You're listening. God said, when your discernment becomes judgment because it's not surrendered. Now, I'm going to give you a list right here. I'm going to run through them because I hadn't worked on this, but I'm going to feed you something here this morning. See, when you evaluate, categorize, and pull back, you're controlling. I just want to apologize to some of you. I pull back on you. It's control. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. I tell Casey and people all the time, there's no one in this room that it is not a character issue. It is not a moral issue. It is not your looks. It's just sometimes everything out of people's mouth is dumb. You don't think about it. You're just trying to be funny. You're just trying to make a joke. You hadn't even give a thought about anything. You hadn't pondered. And then everybody laughs and you say, everybody like that. Then you do it again and then you're in this routine of every time something comes up, you go, And I'm just, I don't want to be around that. I pull back because I don't want to be around it. I'm not judging you. I'm talking me. Me. It's me. I'm not blaming you. It's me. I pull back. I withdraw. That is control. I am controlling. I don't like this. I'm controlling. Here it is. Because agape is not about sameness. I like being around. Listen to me, black people. This is something we've always said. Black people like being around black people, and white people like being around white people. And when you get in a group, all the blacks go to a group and all the white. Why? Because sameness means something to us. So when we're around people and there's not a sameness, we withdraw and pull back because there's not a sameness. We'll say, well, it's not my personality type. Personality has nothing to do with agape. I like sameness. You're going to have always where people are not going to be. Jesus had a small circle. He had 12 and then he had 3. The 12 got on his nerves, so a lot of time he spent time with 3. And when they got on his nerves, he went up to the mountain by himself. Sometimes you got to get alone from everybody. Because everybody, Jesus, everybody's stupid, Father. Everybody, all of them dumb. Bunch of sheep. You put a shepherd up with a bunch of sheep. But if you're not careful, your control for sameness, you won't be around people because you're not same, S-A-M-E. There's not a sameness. So I like being around people that are entrepreneurials, or I like being around people that are self-improving. I like being around people that are energy and low-key. And when I get around people that are low-key, I get around people, I have to carry the conversation. Y'all with me? I got to talk and talk for you. I got to ask you a question and answer for you my question. So if you see me talking to myself a lot, does this make sense to you? See, agape doesn't ask you to silence discernment. It asks you to sanctify it. Now listen, I want to help you because I think I got some of you on my list. This is good because I'm going to work on it. What happens, everyone in this room has strengths. And some we may have some the same and some vary. But listen to this. When our strengths are not redeemed and sanctified, they go in the wrong direction. So I'm not going to elaborate on these. I'm just going to hit them. Y'all ready? Don't ask for what they are. Write fast. Listen to the video. But I want to tell you, I only got about 25. I may have 100. I'm going to give you 2 words. The first one is going to be your strength, but unredeemed is what it becomes. Does that make sense? Discernment, judgment. If your discernment is not redeemed, it becomes judgment. Leadership, not redeemed, becomes control. Excellence, not redeemed, becomes perfectionism. Confidence, not redeemed, becomes arrogance. Discipline, not redeemed, becomes legalism. Wisdom, not redeemed, becomes cynicism. Passion, not redeemed, becomes aggression. Boundaries, not redeemed, becomes isolation. Focus, not redeemed, becomes tunnel vision. Clarity, not redeemed, becomes criticism. Courage, not redeemed, becomes recklessness. Empathy, not redeemed, becomes codependency. Humility, not redeemed, becomes I'll stop. How much of our strengths are unredeemed? Unredeemed, not sanctified. And when we have these strengths that we were given and we don't surrender them and give them to God, they become the very thing that we are trying to get away from. I got up this morning. The Lord gave me a dream last night. This is a whole other thing. I've already got pictures on it and all that. It's a whole other dream. I got up this morning, and it wasn't like a dream, but it was something, I don't know what you'd call it. But I was in a house, and there was a vine that went up beside the wall and went over. And then I went outside and looked, and that vine came out. If this was the outside the house and that was the roof, the vine came outside of the house, broke through the wall, and when it came out, it branched into 4 or 5 branches. And then they were this big, and then they went and up on top of the roof and created a canopy over the house. And I went in the house. I'm just going to give you a summary of it. I went in the house, and I cut the vine. I cut the vine, and I started pulling it. And if you know anything about vines, there's something called tendrils, and there's something called held fast. It's like vines put out these little fibers that have suction cups on them. Ivy has it, and it attaches to that. Well, when you're pulling, there's hundreds of them that attaches to the brickwork or to the wall. And as I begin to pull, paint began to come off, letting me know that there's things in our life that is so normal to us, we paint over it. Oh, boy, we can go down a road with this stuff. And I started pulling, and it pulled up the wall, and then it pulled across the wall, back around this side the wall, then it went up into the attic. And the number in my head was, this is at least, and I was pulling and paint and all this stuff was coming off. But by the time it got to the outside, it had branched into 4 or 5 big branches like this that went up onto the roof. And see the way control and predictability and counterfeit love and trauma and these issues, they start and they just run up the side of the wall in our hearts. And we don't even notice them because we're life. And then they go up and they run across. They're trying to get to the sunlight. And then when they come out, they create a canopy. But I said, there must be 140 foot of vine that I had pulled that was all laying at my feet. See, when you are going to go where God wants you, He said you got to put an axe to the root. You're going to have to discover your roots, discover the vines that you have had growing inside of you. They're not external. They come out in behaviors. They come out in attitudes. They come out in conduct. They come out in decisions. They come out of the inside, and they create a canopy that we live under. Lord said, you're right where I want you. See, you don't get to, my vine is my vine. And I was pulling that vine, and it was like that vine was so, just looking at the walls, I wouldn't even pay attention to it. It's a little off, but it had been painted over. It was the same color as the wall, and that thing was a part of my life. See, your habits and your structures and your cycles and your attitude and the way you live, it is so built into your wall system internally that it's normal until you start pulling on it. And we will let it stay there. This is 56 years this vine's been growing. I'm doing good. We got property, houses. We're good. Why mess with the vine? Because you can't live in agape with a vine of a different tree. See, I want to live in His presence, not live in His activity. See, mercy becomes martyrdom. Order becomes rigidity. Flexibility becomes compromise. Humor becomes deflection. When your gift and when your strength is unredeemed, it will have a negative effect. And the Lord said, you've been walking in discernment when it's not been discernment, it's been judgment. Until you redeem it, it comes back to discernment. But discernment unredeemed becomes judgment. Oh, you're not hearing what I'm saying. See, your loyalty unredeemed is blind devotion. Hey, that works, doesn't it? That works with what we've been talking about. And you have to talk to Michelet. Listen to me, black folks, and when I say that, I'm just saying there has been a loyalty to culture that has been blind devotion. It's true. God wants us to be loyal. We are to be loyal, but you're not to be loyal with blind devotion to truth. We all have it. Every race has it. We have blind devotion to religion. We have blind devotion to all kinds of things. We're supposed to be loyal. What happens when you recognize you've had blind devotion, but you refuse to redeem it, you deconstruct and leave the church. You're not supposed to leave the church. He said, do not forsake yourselves. But we leave the church because I'm not going to be blind devotion. That's the same ditch, just going in another direction. You have to redeem loyalty because loyalty is so critical. Ambition becomes greed. Generosity becomes manipulation. How about this? Compassion becomes enabling. Somebody say, dang. We are so compassionate, and it's not redeemed by the Word of God and the Spirit of God. Our compassion becomes enabling. That's demonic. Hello. Yeah, I'm not. I know you thought I had it all together. I don't. So we will start with God is love. I will not put another introduction to God is love. But I thought we needed to understand you can't go into God is love as long as you're still in control. Because control will completely cause heart failure, organ failure to agape. Now, so let's pause. We're going to play something in a minute. Let's pause for a minute. We're going to sing that song we did at the end. So here's a couple of things as we move on this. Any questions on anything? I don't have any answers for you on the redeemed and unredeemed strengths. I'm working on that. That came this morning. No questions on anything? Okay. How about this one? Do you have your heart scanned from the week before? Not the one we did last week. The one you did last week, I don't want to know nothing about that. Some people told me what they got. I don't want to know. You got the heart scan? So you had to do AOSRN, right? So count up how many A's you got, how many O's you got, how many S's you got, how many R's you got, how many. You need a binder when you come because we always go review and go back. How many A's? How many O's? Now remember on 4A it says a reverse code on that, so we'll work on that one. But just count them up because I want to help you because I don't want to skip too far ahead and we'll come back to this at another time. If you don't have one, you can get one from Lisa. She'll print you off one. good? So if you have 8 to 10 of one number, like 8 to 10 A's or 8 to 10 of one, that means a strong presence. If you have 5 to 7, that means caution, examine. And if you have 1 to 4, that means it's really not dominant. It's more in the healthy line. So A would mean you have strong fear and cost calculation, meaning you have a lot of unbelief in your life. Whatever your second group or your second number would be, that would be detachment, excuse making. This is stuff I really should do one-on-one with people. It means loss of first love. Your third number would be reasoning away conviction. You have a hard heart. Your fourth number, your dominant, would be few actions despite nudges. You don't move very quickly. You just don't do a whole lot. Dormant faith. And the last is risk avoidance, self-protection, and self-preservation. It's kind of where you would fall on that list. If that's not real plain, we can sit down with your paper and discuss it, but I wanted to give you where you have some numbers to look. And these are things that I create for me. They're not created to bring in here to make you feel a certain way. I am an entrepreneur. I am a builder. And I am an architect of agape and identity. That's what I do. I'm not a Christian. I'm not your pastor. I don't want to be any of those things. I'm a follower of my Savior, Jesus Christ. And I know it seems like splitting hairs, but I am not a pastor. I have no desire to be your pastor. I desire to walk with Christ and teach you what I know and help you. A title doesn't make you whole, nor does it make you love, nor does it make you anything except puffed up.